G'day guys, Wolffy here and welcome back to the pack. So today I've got a new engine swap tune for you, well a couple of tunes. So this is one that's sort of just been sitting around in my garage for quite a while, and I tend to sort of head back to it whenever I need a quick, reliable all-rounder. So this thing's great for Group 3 races, Group 4 races, 600s, 700s, and it's also a lot of fun for drifting. So I'm going to share it with you guys today, so hope you enjoy it. Let's get stuck in. So the BMW M3 from 2003 is available at the BMW dealership, obviously, and sometimes in the used car dealership, and I believe that you can also win it through one of the cafe menus early in the kind of career mode in the game. But the car you want is this bad boy right here. So yeah, I think you'll find this a very versatile kind of build. It's a great platform, this car, for the swap itself, and yeah, you can use it in a whole bunch of different events, and at 84,000 credits, that's reasonably priced. And you'll notice here, if I head in and I look at the pricing for the wide body and engine swap conversions, that's only another 350,000. So basically for 420 odd thousand credits, we're getting this swap. So we're going to be chucking in the P65 engine. It's kind of like a S65 engine out of the M3s, but more of a sort of performance engine, racing sort of engine. So for 325,000 credits, we're getting the extra, you know, basically a litre, so 1,000 more cc's, naturally aspirated, but we're going to play around with that a little bit depending on the event we're using it in. The drivetrain obviously is still front mounted, rear engine driven. It's a little bit heavier, but not by a whole bunch. Our max power is up by a good 130 odd brake horsepower. Max torque is, you know, there's a decent increase there, and the power to weight ratio change is kind of negligible, especially once you add any weight or anything like that, which we're going to do for the 700 pp event, obviously. But yeah, it's a great little swap, and you're going to get a lot of use out of this, especially with the additional fuel mileage. Next thing we're going to want to do is go over and get ourselves a set of wheels. So as with most of these builds, we're going to use an aftermarket wheel. Choose your actual wheel diameter. I prefer to go with something close to standard or even below, but we're going to put on the wide rim width and the wide offset. Next up, we're going to go for the aero parts. So we're using type B for the front end, and we're going to put on a set of side skirts, so type A here, even though that one's not essential, you don't really need that. And for the rear, we're going to go with type A, so we're going to put on that rear diffuser. And for the wing, we've got the custom wing set, but maybe also buy yourself like a drift wing, or you know, one of those rocket bunny style wings for the actual drifting tune. So yeah, I've made myself up a couple of different styles here and just saved them so that I can switch between them. So let's get stuck into the 600 pp tune. So we're going with the Sports Hards front and rear. We've got the fully customizable suspension. We've set that at 103 at the front and 113 at the back. You don't really want to go too much lower, especially for the Tokyo WTC 600. So anti-roll bar set at 7 at the front, 5 at the rear. Dampening ratio compression is 35 at the front, 36 at the rear. Dampening ratio expansion, 46 at the front, 47 at the rear. Natural frequency is set to 2.20 at the front, 2.33 at the rear. Negative camber angle is set to 3.0 at the front, 2.4 at the rear. So I've reduced that a little bit just for tyre wear concerns. You might even want to do so more if you feel like you're going through a bit too much tire, especially if you're doing like the no stop event. So we're doing a 0.05 outward toe angle for the front and a 0.10 inward for the rear. And once again, you might want to reduce that if you're doing the no stop and you feel like you're going through too much tires, but there's a good way to avoid that extra tire wear. So we've got the fully customizable differential. Initial torque is set to 5, acceleration sensitivity to 10, and braking sensitivity to 25. Downforce for the front is set to 57 and 3.309 at the rear. We've got the fully customizable ECU, and that's set to 100%. Then we have 199 kilos worth of ballast, and we've thrown that to the back at 9. Power restrictor is set to 82%, and we've got the fully customizable manual transmission for this one. So we're using manual and racing for the 700, and we've set that to 330, not really playing around with the gears for now. So we're using the high RPM turbo here, and I noticed that one was a little bit better on rear tire wear. As you can notice here, we're using the normal braking system and the normal brake pads, but if you can use the engine braking and really smash down through those gears in turn 1 and in the final turn, you won't really need it. We've got the carbon propeller shaft there, and as I was saying before, we're using weight reduction to offset. And the final addition is the increased body rigidity. So you'll notice this thing is really stable, which is probably why it makes such a good drift car. But I basically keep this thing in my garage for whenever I just really want something quick to jump into an event with. But initially I was using this for grinding, so I did a 600 pp and a 700 bp tune for it quite a while ago, but never really got around to there was other tunes that I decided to do first, but this thing has been kind of a bit of a mainstay for me. So for the Tokyo event, it's absolutely awesome. You can quite easily do a 25.5 minute run no stop at Tokyo, and that's what I did. There hasn't been too many changes since the last time I used it. And I also used it for one of the events in last week's weekly challenges, the 600 pp event, which was a whole lot of fun because you don't have the tire wear to worry about in this event. I can kind of treat this thing like a bit of a drift car, and while it's overpowered for the rest of the field, you can kind of pick and choose where you want to have your fun. So I spent a lot of the race kind of drifting around corners and just playing the full. And just enjoying myself, which is cool because I'm sort of getting into drifting a little bit. I don't know a whole bunch about it, but I'm kind of learning. So this one was really cool, and as it comes down to the end, I'm sort of just playing around with the guy in P2. Just make sure that you don't celebrate too early. And let's crack on with the 700 pp tune. Now obviously I was using this one predominantly for the Le Mans event, but yeah, you can use it in a whole bunch of others. The racing hard tyres front and rear. We've got the fully customizable suspension. Ride height is at 105 at the front, 111 at the rear, so slightly up. That's basically for the curbs. Anti-roll bar is set to 6 at the front, 6 at the rear. Dampening ratio compression is 36 at the front, 36 at the rear. Expansion is at 45 at the front, 46 at the rear. Natural frequency at 2.30 at the front, 2.45 at the rear. Negative camber angle is at 3.0 at the front, 2.7 at the rear, which is up slightly on the 600 pp because the tyre wear isn't quite as bad in this one. Toe angle at 0.08 outward at the front and 0.18 inward at the rear. Once again, up slightly on the 600 pp tune for the same reason. Differential is fully customizable. Initial torque at 10, slightly up for the exact same reason. We can afford a little bit more tire wear here. Sensitivity at 10 and braking sensitivity at 30. Our downforce at the front is at 52 and at the rear is at 304. ECU is fully customizable, and that's at 100%. We're pretty much the same sort of ballast, so 200. We've got full ballast, but obviously that's been offset, and we've positioned that slightly less far back at -6. So power restrictors at 100%. Transmission in this one is fully customizable racing, so it's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot quicker shifting through the gears. And I've set this one once again at 340, but haven't really done any playing around with the gears just yet. We've got the medium RPM turbocharger this time. I find it actually gets you a quicker start, quicker acceleration, and it's better for these ones where the tyre wear isn't as much of a concern. And we've also got the carbon brake system, and brake pads are racing. Other than that, you know, you kind of want to play around with the brake controller, so I'll set it slightly forward for now. And we've got the racing clutch and flywheel and the carbon propeller shaft, and all the rest we've already applied. Now, yeah, I've been using this car at this event, and you know, I've been grinding with it for quite a while. And since the updates at update 1.40, there's a whole bunch of other events that I find this car absolutely awesome for. It's been a mainstay for me for this event, and it's a really good way, if you know, it's a car that I know well, and I know I can control really easily for grinding if I just want to jump on and get my daily bonus and make a quick 800,000 credits. And as you can notice here, onto the straight, we're well and truly into the 300 km/h zone and getting pretty close to the 350. So that's where its power is down the straights, but it's, you know, it's not too shabby around the corners either. The only place you're really gonna have to slow down quite a bit with these high-powered swaps is the Porsche curbs. But yeah, it's pretty much the same with all of them, unless you're using one of those high aero style cars. As you can see there, I overcooked that one a little bit, so just make sure, yeah, I think sort of going in slow and out fast is the order of the day with this particular build. You can quite easily get yourself 4 laps with a little bit of fuel saving for the first stint of this race, but I just chose to go 3 laps and do a second stop with this particular one. So there you go, we'd go and knock that one over nice and easy within just over half an hour. There was also another event, I think it was at Sardinia Road A last week, which we took this one out on, and it was just a whole gaggle of fun. Yeah, doing the same sort of things that we were doing in the other one, so we didn't have to worry about tyre wear, we didn't have to worry about fuel consumption, so we were just, you know, basically getting the car sideways, and this car is really good for that sort of stuff. The drifting in it is awesome fun. A little bit harder when you're using the wheel, but yeah, maybe sort of starting out on the controller and just I'm still trying to learn the whole physics of drifting and how it all works, and just trying to slowly apply that on the wheel. But yeah, that's a whole bunch of fun, so you might enjoy that as well. Okay, so let's quickly just head into my drift tune. So I haven't got a whole lot of experience with drifting, but I've kind of been getting into it. So here's my initial drift tune for this particular car. Notables are the sports hards at the front, comfort softs at the medium, maybe sort of change around tyres to suit, but you want something with slightly less grip, obviously. And another one is the steering angle adapter, so you definitely want that one. You know, downforce at the rear, drop that right down, and yeah, have a bit of a play around with it and just see what feels good for you. As you can see here, I took it out on Streets of Willow. It's a great track to learn to drift. There's a little car park area right at the start where you can sort of just you know, get your bearings and learn the car. And then I took it out on a whole bunch of other tracks and just had an absolute blast. Good fun. Especially if you want to try some of those drift challenges, which are probably a little bit underused in this game. So that was a good excuse to use it, and this car is great for it. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I hope that other people do too. You know, I hope you guys get some use out of this and have some fun. So yeah, go out and have a blast, make a mint, and until next time, guys, take care. Bye.